But before we hit the road, let's see what it takes to actually fold this bike. And I wasn't sure if it was a max speed of 20 miles per hour or 28 for the throttle, so we're gonna find that out together here. And if I push in a little harder, can we get to the top speed? We hit the steep part of the hill. We're picking up speed, so I'm just gonna stay seated here and try to hit some bumps. So, according to this, as I start exiting the park, something should happen. Some sort of anti-theft feature. There is no shortage of heavy-duty folding electric bikes out there that offer a ton of performance at impressive prices. For a long time, it's been a very popular style of e-bike with RVers or just anybody that needs an all-around option that's easy to transport and store. As you can imagine, with a lot of competition, you need to put out something pretty special in order to stand out in today's market. This is Engwe's L20 3.0, and it offers specs and features that I've never seen at this price before. On the performance side, it has a motor that peaks at 1500 watts. It offers 90 newton meters of torque, so I'm excited to test that out. The battery is rated up to 15 amp hours, and check this out. This battery is paired with an 8 amp charger. That means you can charge this battery from empty to full in 2 hours rather than the average 5 to 7 hours. This also has full suspension, so you got the fork up front as well as the rear shock in the back. And this module right here offers 4G Bluetooth connectivity for their IoT service. So that means this bike has a companion app and remote security features. In this review, I'll give you an up-close look at every single component. We'll walk through the display and settings as well as that companion app and all the security features. We'll fold it, we'll take it to the road and up our test hill to test its performance, as well as on mixed terrain to see how that full suspension feels. And then we'll wrap everything up with my overall thoughts and the pros and cons. But before all that, let's take a closer look. Engwe is a brand with a growing presence and they're globally recognized. They've apparently sold over 500,000 e-bikes. They have everything in their lineup from cargo style bikes to commuters, as well as these folding style bikes that we see here. This will be the second Engwe bike we've reviewed on the channel. This will be the first one that I've tested out personally. The L20 3.0 is currently priced at $13.99. However, we have a discount code, so check below in the description for that. Also, if you want to support our content, using our affiliate link when you go to make your purchase is a great way to do that. It's free for you and it truly makes content like this possible. Thank you so much for your support. There are 2 color options for this model, black, which you see here, or champagne. This has a max payload capacity of 330 pounds. The advertised weight is 76.1 pounds. And with the battery and all the accessories, our scale puts it at 76.26 pounds. And taking out the battery brings it down to 67.9 pounds. So this comes as a one-size-fits-most option, fitting riders from 5 foot all the way up to 6'2". Now I'm a 6'1" rider with a 33-inch inseam. The standover height is just under 15 inches. Pretty easy to step through. Nice wide area to step through as well. Able to get full leg extension. And my wife, who's a 5'4" rider, was also able to dial in a pretty comfortable fit with the handlebars set to the middle position and with the seat post with some room to adjust lower, though she was reaching out a bit to grab the handlebars. Now let's walk around the bike and take a look at the components. Starting at the brakes, these are 2-piston Tektro hydraulic disc brakes with massive 203mm rotors. Same setup on the back. The front wheel bolts on, and this is a Chow Yang tire. It is 20 by 3 inches. Reflective strip on the sidewall. Smooth street tread. This is a Zoom Macera fork. It comes with a preload adjustment on the left side. You can lock it out on the right. It offers 40mm of travel. This is what you can expect. And rounding out the full suspension setup is this rear shock. It's Engwe branded with 30mm of travel. We'll see if I can show that off here. Included are the plastic fenders up front with full coverage in the back. It does have integrated lighting, including this front light and running taillight that brightens when you pull on the brake levers. There are 4 mounting points up front for an optional front basket. The rear rack is included though. It has a max payload capacity of 55 pounds. The cable management is clean and routes underneath the frame. These are folding handlebars, so you have the latch here that pulls down, and they just fold down to the side. They also telescope, so you can adjust the height. The handlebars have a slight rise to them. These are Tektro hydraulic brake levers. They do have motor cutoff, lock-on ergonomic grips. This is a Shimano 8-speed trigger shifter. It has an underbar thumb throttle on the left side and a 5-button control pad. Let's run through this display. Power button on the right side of the control pad. I just heard the IoT module. Nice color accents on this display, but overall fairly basic. We have our battery readout in the upper left corner, speed front and center. Then under that, you have different information you can cycle through. So we have trip mileage, odometer, power, time, max speed, and average speed. Then in the bottom right is your assist level. You can have it off, and then you have 5 levels of assist to work with. To turn the lights on, hold pedal assist up for a few seconds. The screen will dim. To activate walk mode, hold pedal assist down for a few seconds. Indicator up top. Looks like it gives you about 3 miles per hour of assistance. Then you have your horn button here. Let's see how that sounds. Fairly loud. Then by holding pedal assist up and down at the same time, you can access the settings. First up, you have your unit, so you can set it between miles per hour as well as kilometers per hour. To enter a setting, hit the information button, use your pedal assist up and down to make your selection, and then press the information button to make your selection. And then you can also use pedal assist up and down to navigate the settings. Next up, we have the backlight, 5 different levels. You can set a 4-digit passcode in order to turn on the bike here. You can also do that in the app, which we'll walk through in a second. Now this is where you want to go if you want to change between the torque and cadence sensors. So the default setting is off, which means you're riding with the torque sensor. That's going to give you a more natural pedal response. And if you want to ride with the cadence sensor for more consistent power, switch that to on. Then lastly, you can reset to factory default here. Now there is a way to enable this bike to go 28 miles per hour. You actually hold on the pedal assist up button for about 5 seconds when you're in the menu. It will show you what speed you're currently in. In order to change it, hold pedal assist down for about 5 seconds. There we go. Now we've enabled 28 miles per hour, and hold the information button for about 5 seconds to exit. And that will bring you back home. All right, let's go through this app. Looks like you can see what your battery readout's at. Right now I have an 85% charge. So that's nice. It enhances what the display is showing. You can lock and unlock the bike here. So you do need to have the display's passcode enabled in order for this lock feature to be usable, because anybody can just come up to the bike and turn it back on. So that lock button essentially works as an on-off switch for the bike. Then you have the bike light. Under the lock is Find My Bike. So this is where you can GPS track the location of your bike, and it will actually give you navigation instructions on how to get to your bike. You can ring the bike bell. We'll do that real quick. And then at the bottom of the screen is a compilation of your overall ride history. Now, if you have more than one Engwe bike, in the upper left corner, you can actually choose which model you are riding. And then in the upper right corner, there's 3 dots, which means there's more options here. Let's go to that menu. You can, at the top, change the e-bike's name to whatever you want. You can geofence this bike, which means you can choose areas on a map where the bike is allowed or not allowed to ride. And then once you go outside of that range, the alarm on the bike will activate, and then it will send a notification to your phone to let you know that, hey, your bike has left or entered this area you didn't want your bike to go. Now, during the walkthrough of the display, we were able to enable the passcode right through the display, but you can also do that right through the app here as well. So go to change password. We will set this to all zeros. Done. So now when I go to lock the bike here, the bike powers off, and then when you go to turn it back on, it's going to ask for that passcode. Underneath the unlock password, you have your firmware version. So if there's an available firmware update, you'll find that here. Now, in order to access all of the IoT services, I did have to go ahead and update my bike. So you may need to do that if you do choose to purchase this bike. Next is battery health settings. Now, this is where you can actually control the amperage of the charger. So you can have it unlocked to that full 8 amps charging for the 2-hour charge time. Or if you'd rather charge it a little bit slower, perhaps extend the life of the battery, you can dial back that amperage to all the way down to 2 amps. Under that is smart services. Now, I actually did not have to activate any free trial. As soon as you pair the bike to the app, that first free year of the IoT service is automatically enabled. Now, after the first free year, if you go to shop now, right now the pricing is $39.99 per year if you want to continue using those IoT services. Then you can find some e-bike information at the bottom here, and you can of course unbind your bike at the bottom as well. Now, I don't see any speed override settings currently within the app, so going to the next tab, that's the Discover tab, where you can see what other Engwe riders are up to, and you can share your rides here as well. Using this plus button, you can add photos and share your moments here. And then on the last page here is where you can see a roundup of how many things you've liked, your posts, your events. You can access support channels here. So there's the help and support center. You can also send feedback. And then at the bottom here is just some general information and settings. And that's pretty much it for the app. For graphics, you have Engwe on the down tube on both sides, L20 3.0 on the seat tube, and Explore a New Way on the chainstay. These are alloy pedals from Welgo. There's the frame latch to fold it. We will fold it in a moment here. It has a wide cushion saddle and a short rear-mounted kickstand with a wide foot. Let's take a look at this battery. To remove it, put in your battery key here and turn it to the left. It will pop open. Love that it's a top-mounted design. Easy to lift out and install. This is a 48 volt 15 amp hour battery. The bike is certified to UL 2849 standards. This uses LG cells, and overall the bike has an IPX4 rating, so it can handle light splashes of water but isn't necessarily the best for heavy rain riding. You have an LED indicator and power button up top here. Charging port on the side. You can access that charging port while the battery's on the bike via this port. Just remove that rubber cover. To install the battery, find the terminals, put that in first at the bottom, and since it's a top load, you just kind of have to drop it into place, give it a snap, and then turn the key all the way to the right until you feel that battery suck in. You do not need to ride with the keys in the bike. And there's the 750 watt rear hub motor. It peaks at double that, so 1500 watts. It offers an impressive 90 newton meters of torque. On paper, we'll test that out in a moment. And that motor is paired with your choice of a torque or cadence sensor. They're swappable. And it looks like the torque sensor is sourced from Mevice, which is a European company. They offer some great components. The drivetrain is an 8-speed setup with a Shimano Altus derailleur. The cassette ranges from 13 to 28 teeth. And this is a 52-tooth chainring. Also in the box, they send you with a derailleur guard if you plan on taking it off-road, a bike pump, which is great to use if you're in a pinch, mounting hardware for the rear rack, as well as the tools you'll need for assembly. So there's Allen wrenches, regular wrenches, and a screwdriver. And you'll find the assembly instructions in the manual here. And that is it for all the components. But before we hit the road, let's see what it takes to actually fold this bike. First, we're going to drop down the handlebars, and then we'll fold them, pull up on the release. They'll drop down to the side. Then we will drop the seat post down, release the frame latch, and use your leg to brace and bring it around. Pop up the kickstand, and you got to get the pedals kind of in the right spot. And there we go, it's all folded. It rests on this metal stand down here. Now, once it's folded down, you can pop it in the back of an SUV or the back seat of a car. It can be a little bit clumsy to carry around these heavy folding bikes. So a great travel hack is to get a tote that the bike can fit inside. Now, we've used a 70-gallon tote in the past. With that, let's get this bike back up and running and hit the road for some performance tests. Okay, for the riding portion of the video, I figured we would do our standard performance test and then explore some of the security features at the end. Right now I do have class 3 speeds unlocked, so we're going to start things off with a throttle-only acceleration test to the max speed. And I wasn't sure if it was a max speed of 20 miles per hour or 28 for the throttle, so we're going to find that out together here. 3, 2, 1, throttle only. Strong takeoff. There's 20 already, and we are still accelerating very fast. 26, 27, and there's 28, showing 27 on the GPS, but we're probably just shy of that. So interesting, the throttle is unlocked if you do open it up to 28 miles per hour. The other thing to note is no matter the assist level that you're in, that full throttle power is going to be unlocked. So I'm in level 1 right now. And there we go again, it's just fully unlocked. So yes, the throttle is unlocked in all assist levels. You get max power no matter what, and there is no way to limit that. That's a feature I'd love to have, especially for a bike that has a thumb throttle. They're not the easiest to modulate. This bike does receive firmware updates though, and maybe that is a feature they could introduce in the future. Just be a nice thing for accessibility. But next, let's go ahead and explore these pedal assist levels. I currently have the cadence sensor engaged. Now, if you're not familiar with the difference between a cadence and a torque sensor, a cadence sensor is just going to read whether or not you are pedaling. It's not measuring how hard you pedal. So no matter what, you're going to get a set speed limit in each assist level. So in level 1 right now, I'm not getting any motor support anymore. Once I got above 7, 8 miles per hour, that motor cut off. The only way I'm going to get more speed is if I actually use just straight up leg power or go to the next assist level. So here we go. I just felt the motor cut out right around 12 miles per hour. Pedal assist level 3. Shot me up to about 17 miles per hour. There's level 4. Kicking things up to about 22 is when I feel the motor cut out. And then pedal assist level 5 should let us get all the way up to 28 miles per hour. All right, so what I want to do right now is test out this cadence sensor with the speed set to 20 miles per hour. We're just going to see what you can expect speed-wise in each assist level. So starting out in level 1 here. All right, I felt it cut off at 8 miles per hour. Level 2, gentle push up to 10 miles per hour. Level 3, there's 14 miles per hour. Level 4, the sharp burst up to 17 miles per hour, and then another strong burst up to the max 20 in level 5. All right, but let's go ahead and drop into the settings here, and let's engage the torque sensor. Remember, that's the DL setting set to off. So now when you're riding with the torque sensor, the pedals are actually going to measure how hard you're pushing in, and then it's going to reward you with motor power. So the harder you push in, the more motor power you'll get. So with very easy pedal pressure, holding right around 15 miles per hour in assist level 1. Now if I push into the pedals a little bit harder, I will get more motor support. This is just moderate effort, and we are already up to about 25 miles per hour. And if I push in a little harder, can we get to the top speed? Wow, crazy. So very interesting, able to get up to 28 miles per hour in assist level 1. And I wouldn't say I was even pushing all that hard into the pedals. I mean, I'd say right now, this is the pedal effort I'd use just for sustained energy. And I feel connected to the pedals, but now I'm just feathering them and holding easily at 17 miles per hour. Let's see what happens if I go into level 2. I feel the motor starting to push just ever so gently more, and that's easy pedaling, holding at 20 miles per hour. Just a little bit more effort easily gets us up to 25 miles per hour. So no doubt with moderate effort, you can hold north of 25 miles per hour in assist level 2. Let's turn around and just see what happens in assist level 3. All right, with easy pedaling, just the smallest push into the pedals really gets you up to speed fast. I'm in top gear right now, easily holding at 21, 22 miles per hour. Push in a little harder. Oh my goodness. 26, no problem, and then just a little bit more. There's that 28. Moving on to level 4. Here we go. And I'm in 8th gear. I can pretty much just leave it there. This motor is ready to just kick in and take over. Right now, I'm not really pushing in harder. I'm just aiming to spin my legs a little bit faster. This is easily holding at 25 miles per hour. I know just a little bit more. We're gonna get up to 28. All right, but I am going to shift down here, and we are in assist level 5, and we're just gonna see what the acceleration is like if you do leave the floodgates open on this motor. Then I'll let you know how easy it is to hold at the top speed, and I'll check in with my pedal cadence to give you an idea of what the top gear allows for pedal speed. Here we go, first gear, 3, 2, 1, pedal. Instant support from the torque sensor. Very responsive. There's 20 miles per hour. Already in 8th gear. 24, 25, 26, 27. There's 28. Now I feel the motor definitely hitting that speed wall at 28. It kind of cuts off abruptly, but shoots you right back up there. It's very easy to hold at this speed though. That's about my pedal cadence at top speed. This might just be on my display, but there's information on the bottom here that shows you what kind of power you're pulling from the motor. And it's actually not responding to the throttle or pedaling, so it just shows 0. There's our test hill in the distance there. So we're gonna get into our hill climb test soon. On the way, let's talk a little bit about ride feel though. I'll actually temper the power a little bit here. So for me as a 6'1" rider, what I like is that you can, I'm not even in the top position for the handlebar height. My arms are just out in front of me. I'm not leaning over the handlebars at all, so there's no strain on my wrists. We're gonna test out the suspension soon, but on those railroad tracks, overall, that rear shock feels pretty stiff, even for me as a heavier rider. And this saddle is wide, and it offers a decent level of comfort, but I could see getting some saddle fatigue after a longer ride for sure. But here we go, we're coming up on our hill. We're gonna do a throttle-only test and roll right into the hill. Now this hill always looks smaller on the GoPro, so we can put up a graphic so you can see the actual scale of the hill. Remember, it doesn't matter which assist level that you're in, you're gonna get full motor support, but I do have it in level 5 now. And we hit the steep part of the hill, we're picking up speed. Our lowest speed I saw was 13 miles per hour, which is really good for this hill. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear that motor. It is not super transparent, so it has a little bit of a whine. I kind of forget about it after a while, but it is noticeable if you're paying attention. But wow, yeah, after the motor had just a little bit of time to catch up and regain momentum, it's just eating this hill. 15 miles per hour, picking up speed pretty fast as this hill rounds out. And without a doubt, we are going to make it to the top. Now let's go back down the hill. We're going to do a brake test here. Now a lot of e-bikes use these Tektro hydraulic disc brakes. Not many at this price point come with a pair of 203mm rotors for the front and back. So we're at 28 miles per hour. I'm going to pull on the brake levers. Easy to lock out the tire. Very confident stopping power. Yeah, very easy to stay in control on this descent. Let's turn around here though and see how it feels to pedal up the hill. I'm gonna shift down here. We're gonna start in pedal assist level 1 and just see. What I like to do is kind of shift through the gears until my legs are getting a little tired, and then I'll ask for more help from the motor. And we have the torque sensor engaged, remember that. So the amount of pressure you're pushing in does matter. But yeah, if you want to conserve battery, staying in level 1, not too bad to pedal up. I'm gonna try shifting up here. Okay, my legs are burning a little bit. Let's go into assist level 2. Felt a gentle push from the motor. Probably don't want to shift up though. Let's go into level 3. Yeah, bigger surge there. Just staying connected with the pedals, but probably don't want to shift up yet. Let's go into level 4. That took a lot of weight off my legs. Shifting up. Still picking up speed. Level 5. Oh, shifting through the gears now. Here's 6th gear, 7th gear, 8th gear. Hill's just starting to round out. So I was able to find like a level where I'd actually get a workout, and then level 5 just launched me up to the top of the hill. I will say with the torque sensor, sometimes it's not as easy to maintain that consistent torque on the pedals. So it can be a little bit harder to access full motor power. And that is an advantage of a cadence sensor where you know how much power you're getting. It's consistent and dependent on what a level of assist that you're in. So as long as you spin your legs, you know what power you're gonna get. But this bike has the throttle here. So if you are heading up the hill with the torque sensor and you don't think you have enough assistance, you can tap into full motor power anytime with this throttle. Next, I wanted to test out the full suspension. Like I said, on some of those bumpy spots like railroad tracks and potholes, the rear suspension was feeling a little bit stiff. As a 200-pound rider, I think I'd be kind of in the middle of the pack as far as the weight range with this having a 330-pound capacity, but I'm not getting a lot of engagement out of that rear shock. So I'm just gonna stay seated here and try to hit some bumps. And I wouldn't say that it's not doing anything. Like, I think it's definitely nice to have a little bit of support, but it just feels pretty stiff overall. And then if I lean on the handlebars here, that feels pretty stiff too, but I wonder if I adjust the preload here. Let's see if I notice a difference. Oh yeah, I can bottom out now. Okay, so we finished all the performance tests. Now let's check out some of these security features. So the first thing I wanted to do is see what happens if you go into geofencing. Let's create an allowable area right around us right now, the feasibility fence as they call it. So there you go. We'll push on the screen to set a pin, make a small radius here. I'll zoom in. So according to this, as I start exiting the park, something should happen. Some sort of anti-theft feature. We are going to find out. Oh, I just heard the alarm. Not super loud. Let's see what happens here. We should be exiting that zone right about now. There we go. So there is an alarm going off. Will it stop me from riding the bike? Let's see. I do still have motor power. I don't think I'm alerting any of the neighbors, but I suppose if someone was walking right past you, they might ask you what's up. I wonder why they don't use the horn, because listen to how loud that is. All right, and then I also got a notification. Your e-bike has designated guardrails, or I'm not sure what it said. So that's working. Let's go ahead and turn this alarm off. That is going to do it for the riding portion. Let's throw to some third-person riding footage, and I'll give you my overall thoughts and the pros and cons. At the start of the review, I told you the L20 3.0 is a folding bike with impressive specs and features for the price. After spending real time with it, that's still largely true, but I have a lot of thoughts about this bike, so let's get right into the pros and cons. Motor power is the headline, and it's seriously impressive. The torque ripped up our test hill on throttle alone, one of the best performances I've experienced on that hill. The 48-volt 15 amp hour battery is a good size to pair with those motor specs, and the 8 amp charger is something I've not seen included at this price, offering a crazy 2-hour charge time rather than the 7 to 8 hours I'm used to. It's also great they let you dial in the charging power all the way down to 2 amps. Personally, I'll reserve the 8 amp charging for when I need a quick turnaround and charge slower when I don't to help extend the battery life. And the battery loads in the top of the frame, which is always a win for me. It makes installing and removing the battery so much easier than the bottom load options. The step-through window of the frame is very wide, and as a larger rider, I had plenty of height adjustment on the handlebars. My wife, who's 5'4", was also able to dial in a comfortable fit, though she was reaching out a bit with her arms. And the component choices are amazing for a budget option. The Altus derailleur is reliable, and the Tektro hydraulics with massive 203mm rotors are pretty much unheard of at this price. The torque sensor is sourced from Mevice, a European brand known for quality, and it's very responsive and easy to tap into full motor power when you need it, and it's a nice touch to be able to switch over to a Cadence sensor for consistent motor support too. As far as the security suite goes, the GPS features work well. It's great to get a notification if your bike is being moved unexpectedly, and to have tracking with navigation to your bike built right in. but that's also a good bridge to the considerations. Having an app and connected security features at this price is a rarity. There's a slight learning curve to navigating the app, and the first thing you'll want to do is update the firmware so all the advertised features are actually available to you. The display is colorful but leans on the basic side, and there are some settings I felt were missing. The biggest one for me is the lack of throttle settings. To my knowledge, there's no way to tie the throttle down to the pedal assist levels, so the floodgates are wide open in every level of assist. This motor is so powerful that I really think this is a safety and accessibility feature this bike needs. And you can go up to 28 miles per hour, but know that the pedal assist and throttle speeds are directly linked. And throttle speeds above 20 miles per hour are not street legal without proper registration, licensing, equipment, and insurance, so be aware of that. The full suspension setup is nice on paper, but the rear shock was a bit stiff, even for me as a 200-pound rider. Don't get me wrong, it added some relief, but I was left wanting a bit more. I'll also point out the water resistance rating is on the lower side, so I wouldn't recommend riding this bike in the rain. The IoT service runs $40 per year, which is a bit steeper than some more refined services we've seen other brands roll out. On the other hand, being able to keep an eye on your bike from your phone for less than $4 a month may be worth it for some, and they give you time to decide if it's worth it with a 1-year free trial. Another small note is the alarm is on the quiet side. Engwe's website shows that they've partnered with some bike shops across the US for sales and service, though I'm not sure about the availability for test rides. This is mostly a direct-to-consumer option, which means support is going to be online for most people, and assembly requires some extra steps compared to the other popular folding models I've tested, mainly installing the folding handlebar assembly, which could be challenging for some newbies. You can always reach out to a local bike shop for a safety check if you aren't confident, and we've only reviewed one other Engwe bike, so we don't have a lot of data on their customer support yet. Lastly, I need to report a personal experience with this bike. I ran into a fault where the motor failed to stop when I wasn't pedaling or using the throttle. The motor cutoff saved me from a runaway situation, and Engwe sent me a replacement torque sensor to resolve the problem. I did some research, and this appears to have been an isolated incident, and they were quick to make it right. All in all, this truly is an impressive package and a fun ride for $13.99. For riders craving power, this bike is a blast and you're going to have a lot of fun with it. But if you're new to electric bikes and you don't want to be overwhelmed by power, keep the considerations in mind. But I'd love to hear from you what you think about this model, so leave your thoughts down below. And if you're considering picking one up, remember we have a discount code in the description, and purchasing through our affiliate link is a free way for you to make content like this possible. Thank you so much for your support. Like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on our reviews. With that, I'm Miles with eBike Escape. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.